Okay, so we're going to continue on. Thank you to everyone. So the next student that we're going to have speak is Bolaji. So come on up. So let me tell you a little bit about him. So he is studying business administration here at the college, and I found him to be a very interesting applicant for this program because he's an international student, came from the United Kingdom, and he was looking for an opportunity to learn more about other cultures as well as meet new people here at the campus and learning more about our culture here in America. He also wanted to make a difference in the community, and I was so impressed to find out about him that when he was in London, he worked on this campaign called Why Do, that was a community impact initiative to bridge the gap between adults and children, which I thought was really interesting. So, Bolaji?
Thank you, Marisa. Well, first of all, my name is Bolaji. I'd first like to thank Dr. Fluke and Marisa for this, opportunity for this internship. Well, you said it's not an internship; it's more like an insurance policy, which I do believe that's quite true. First of all, I wanted to point out that I didn't get to meet my survival because I think the timing, I don't know, there was a bit of a timing issue, and towards the time it was a festive season and she was too busy with her family, so I had to do the interview. I had to do the interview on the phone and just conduct everything, and it's quite a good thing because we both have so much in common. Because she was part of the kinder transport. I don't know if you guys know about the kinder transport, which was a situation whereby they got a few kids from Germany to transport them to England. And once I started getting to speak to her, I found out that even she both has the same name as my girlfriend, and obviously we just spoke and we did really have a lot in common because she lived in places that I lived as well. For example, like London. And once we started talking, she told me she left. She lived in Berlin, Germany, and then she was part of the kinder transport. She didn't want to touch too much on the subject because I was asking her quite a few questions. I was asking her quite a few questions, and I asked her about experience. The story was she was happy with the family. She was happy. She was 13 years old when she left Berlin, and it was such a bitter experience because when you can hear someone speak and you can hear the more the passion, and she was the more I don't want to use the word hate, but more like hate towards the Germany, but I don't really want to touch too much on that subject because I want to be on the positive side. But her dad had a business, and mom was helping her dad. They both had a good family. While the whole war thing and the whole Holocaust thing was going on, our parents both decided for her that it was better she left because they don't want her to die. She had a brother, she had a brother, by the way, and the brother ended up going to Leeds in England. Leeds is another state entirely, and she stayed in London. So I asked her what kind of intrigued me the most. I asked her while she was in London, did she enjoy that stay? And she told me no, she didn't, because the war was still going on then, because they were still having bombing, they were still having bombs still thrown. She lived through the Blitz. So I was now thinking okay, as a kid, you didn't only go through the war in Germany because things were bad enough in Germany. In London, she had to be separated from her family, whereby she didn't get to see them for at least another 7 years, and she still didn't have a peacefulness of mind, even though she wasn't with her parents. So it was more like ASU here than ASU there. And then I asked her, did she keep in touch with her parents? She said, yeah, she did keep in touch with her parents. She was writing letters, back and forth with her mom, back and forth with her dad. As the story went on, I think her mom got to live till the age of 75 because they migrated to from Berlin, Germany. They migrated to United States, and later on, after I think she lived in England for about another 4 or 5 years. She lived in England, and she came here to meet her parents, and it was really joyous for her. She was really happy. the most intriguing, another thing that intrigued me the most, in which the question that I asked her, did she have, like, has she forgiven the Germans for what they've done to her? And I really wanted to ask that question, and she was a bit wary about, how to answer that. She was like, she doesn't really have, hatred towards the new generation, because the new generation really don't know anything, and they're quite innocent. And she didn't really have no hate towards them, but like she can't really forgive them. So what I can take from this internship personally is that as a kid, like, and while I was doing our internship, Marisa taught us that as a kid, like, you have to know what to impact, like what to teach the kids, basically, like what you put in their brain as they're growing up, because they're an empty vessel, and like if you put love inside it, like they grow up with love, and if you put hate inside it, they grow up with hate. So as a kid, like, the Germans kind of scarred her, and she was so bitter about it, and like, she was, but like, as times move on, she didn't even try to hold no grudges. She just moved on, which I thought that was quite strong. And I haven't been able to tell you too much about myself, but like, as a kid myself, I left my home country, which was Nigeria, which was Nigeria from Africa. My dad brought me to England as a kid, and like, this time last year, I didn't really want to touch too much on this subject because it's a bit too much, but this time last year I was incarcerated in England, and like, because I was there for 15 years of my life. I went through secondary school, I went through college, and I went through everything, and like, I overstayed my visit. So I was incarcerated because I have no legal leave to be in the country. So they did incarcerate me, and like, I know what it feels like for you to have your freedom taken away from you. Like, I know that feeling, because like I had so much grudge against the English people, but at the end of the day, the English people brought me up, and like, I had parents, I had family there, in which that's another subject entirely that I didn't want to touch on. But what I want to say that touched me again was, as a man in this life, if you have an opportunity to change things, you should change it for good. Because, for example, the two people that mainly, like, that was really highlighted in this Holocaust internship for me was the man that was called Help Saved how many kids, what was his name? And Nicholas Winton. Yeah, thank you. Like, because I had to email Marisa, like, I really want to go through this clip, because that day nobody really saw me, but like, I literally shared a teardrop, but nobody saw that. But that story was so touching, because I feel like this man, he just had the opportunity just to save this little group of people, and like, look at they ended up bringing another generation upon generation upon generation. Then that's a man of courage, and is a legend to me, because whatever he's done, like, he's made a big impact in just those small people's life. Then Hitler, on the other side, he made another impact, but then another negative impact. So, and that's really not a good thing, because like, a lot of people have a lot of hate for him. Like, a really large amount of people had a lot of hate for him, and like, that's not a good thing. That's not what you want to be known by. Like, you should leave a good legacy, and that's just what I've learned from this Holocaust internship.
Great, thank you so much.